All right, everybody, welcome back to No Cover TV. That's right, this is your host, Big L. And yeah, I bring that original, local, and national music, and I just put it in your face, kind of slap you up a little bit with it because you need to hear it. You need to hear that music out there. Get away from the commercial a little bit because in your town, state, there are a lot of artists, musicians, and bands of all genres and all age groups. Why not, turn the stereo down in the car and roll your window down, stick your head out that window, and open those ears up for me because you're going to hear some great stuff. And you're going to hear some great stuff today. We got a great show for you today. But before I get with our artist of the day, I want to thank all of you for supporting No Cover TV and the other artists. My three favorite words are support, support, support. So do that. We don't want to just keep it to ourselves. We want to get it all over. And that's why No Cover TV is worldwide. We're touching everybody. And I appreciate it because I want to get in your head, get your story out there. Because people who are listening, I want you to get your cell phones out, your PCs, your tablets. If you chisel and rock, however you hook up to the internet, get on the platforms. Because you want to check these artists out. There are a lot. And what I mean a lot, I found the numbers the other day, I think it's 100,000 songs a day are being uploaded from different artists. So you need to stand out. So let me help you out there with No Cover TV. And we're going to get your music out there. I want to thank RIT Music out of West Michigan, Grand Rapids, Holland, for sponsoring No Cover TV and the music. Yeah. So you go to RIT, get one of the guitar picks, the No Cover TV guitar picks out of the Grand Rapids location, 50 cents. That is your 10% coupon off all accessory in the store forever. So take advantage of that and just go in there and mention No Cover TV or Big Al. We'll get you hooked up. They want to take care of you. They've always supported the local musicians, national, and they've actually supported my band back in the 80s. I remember going in the basement of the house and buying our first drum set, our Pearl. Yes, indeed, 85, I think that was. So we're going to get to our show. We've got a great show for you today, ladies and gentlemen, just like all the shows out there. We got the one and only Johnny Stash from Short Hair Domestics in the house at the table. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good, Johnny. Johnny wants to open up with a song. We do that a little later on, but it's his show.
Yeah, I got more to play, so.
Let's do it. Let's open the show,
Johnny. Start with an old one. But I don't think anybody's going to recognize it anyways because normally it's loud punk rock and this will be
that's right,
nice and smooth acoustic. But
let's do it, Johnny.
Hey kid, don't fool yourself. This chance won't come again. All you have is now, and it is slipping through your fingers. Take the truth, don't turn away. Say what you came to say. The choice is yours, but your time don't waste it. We're not gonna live forever. Fuck tomorrow, it's now or never. Embrace this moment, make it matter. We're not gonna live forever. We're not gonna live forever. We're not gonna live forever.
Johnny, hello there. Hey, how you doing, brother? brother?
I'm so good.
Good. I'm glad you're at the table, my friend. That was cool, man.
Thank you very much.
That was great. Name of the song again was?
That is Not Gonna Live Forever off our first album called Hooks.
Hooks.
Which you can get for free online on all streaming services.
Sweet. We got to talk about all of that, Johnny. And again, thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm happy to be here.
I appreciate it, brother. So we got quite a bit to talk about in a short bit of time, and I want to get some more music, of course, if I can, out of Johnny.
Absolutely.
Johnny's out of the West Michigan area. He has been rocking out for quite some time.
Yeah. Well, my band, Short Hairs.
Yep, sure.
We've been together, I think, more than 10 years now. We've been on the scene doing our thing.
Nice.
I'm an older gentleman, so I've been in the music scene in the West Michigan area since, I would say, I've been playing music since I was a teenager, but I've been playing in Grand Rapids since the 90s.
Since the 90s, you've been playing. All right. Before we jump to the 90s and present, I got to get in your head.
Yeah.
I got to go up the stairs there and pick around a little bit. So every artist that comes on the show, we go in a time capsule, my friend. Okay. Everybody wants to know out there. So we're going to go on that time capsule. Now, we've talked before that we even hit the record button, and we had a lot to chat about, people. Johnny here is amazing. I hope I get all that back out of him, my friends.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. So we're in the time capsule. We talked about an age earlier, but I got to bring you back before that age, and you are now 10 years old.
Okay.
What was coming into your life as far as music?
Vividly. I used to sit in the back of the car in the driveway.
Yeah.
Listen to the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Loved oldies, which at the time would have been 50s and 60s music.
Right on.
Also, my mother played guitar and sang.
Really?
I come from a single mom household.
Okay.
But my mom played folk music and country music every day. So
every day.
Like Kenny Rogers and the Country Roads guy, John Denver.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Croce was on constantly on the 8-track player at home.
The 8-track player.
And then probably around that same age, though, is when I would have discovered punk rock for the first time.
There you go.
By watching an episode of Chips, which I think might have been a little bit earlier than 10.
Okay,
but
Chips.
I saw an episode of Chips where there was a punk rock club.
Okay.
And I immediately wanted to be a punk rocker.
Nice.
I know. The day after that happened, I had a pair of checkered pants from the 70s in my dresser upstairs and a plaid shirt. And it was the most clashing stuff that I had and most vibrant. And I put it on and I had to wear it to school. And my mom was like, you can't
do
look
that.
like a complete freak. I was like, but I want to be punk rock.
Yeah.
I guess so. I started being a poser, I guess, around 7 years old.
I think we all are.
But classic rock.
Classic rock.
The oldies mostly when I was that age. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Folk music because it was around the house so much, but just being in love with rock and roll, the 50s rock and roll especially.
Yeah.
Phil Spector.
Spector
is a huge influence on the way that I look at what a pop song should be.
Right.
Pop in air quotes, of course. Just 2 minutes of power. Hit the hook until people can't forget it.
There you go.
People should know the hook by the second time you get there.
Yeah. So now we just move up a couple of years. You started to mess around with the instruments.
Yeah, I probably started. Because my mom played guitar, so we always had guitar around the house. But I got into my first band when I was in high school.
Nice.
So, and playing cover songs, Metallica, Slayer.
You were going a little heavy.
Definitely metal.
Okay.
And then it was probably around that same time, because I had already had this interest in punk rock, but my exposure to punk rock, because I grew up in the woods of Northwest Michigan, was incredibly limited.
Yeah.
So I would say I was more influenced by new wave because it was more on MTV.
Yeah, right.
The Cars and some of the Clash here and there. Definitely the Ramones, because that would seep through.
Yeah.
But it would have been around freshman, sophomore in high school when I get my first Misfits album.
None of the Misfits.
Hear the Sex Pistols the first time, which quickly thereafter led to the Dead Kennedys. I was a hooligan and good for nothing in Podunk, West Michigan. So I was a skater. So by being a skater, you read Thrasher magazine,
right?
The like, and the back pages are filled with all these T-shirts that you want to own.
Yeah,
and most of these T-shirts have these crazy band logos on them.
Yeah,
and so I remember seeking out these things. That's how I met my good friend who's with us, Brett.
Brett's here.
The only other weirdo in Largo County at the time.
I think you got 3 weirdos here.
Yeah, and so of course we became friends, but having to drive an hour away to go to the nearest mall and dig through cassettes, just trying to find, a copy of just even the most basic punk rock music. But then I loved it, and again, because I love rock,
seeking for that treasure.
Yeah, like punk rock was like the next evolution of rock and roll that I saw. It's like the natural progression of rock.
Right.
Like you go from 50s bebop, Phil Spector, 3 chords, hook. Like, okay, well, what's the result of that? Well, 3 power chords and nothing but the hook.
Right. It's all
there. You go. Yeah. And pound it out in 2 minutes. So.
Oh, man. So we're going to jump ahead. All right. The years are coming by. The music's in your heart. You're playing and stuff. But when did you buckle up and get more serious about to play out as form bands?
I would say, so I played in the 90s. I was in my early 20s in bands. But then I thought, I got to grow up. And so I still played music and I still wrote songs and I still did that, but I did it on my own. And I had a relationship and I bought a house and kind of bougie. So bougie for me, if you know me, I'm a weirdo. So bougie for me is just a steady job. But so I was doing that, and my wife bought me a drum set.
Okay.
And because I'd always wanted to play drums, but I was always really super poor growing up and never could afford a drum set. A beat up guitar from a pawn shop, maybe, but
right.
So I got a drum set. I started playing drums. I'm like, I want to play drums with people, and I started looking at joining a band. And I tried out for a couple bands, but nothing really worked out. Okay. So I was like, well, I know people and my brothers play, so I went and bought a guitar and a bass rig, and I was like, I'll start a band.
There you go.
And that, I would say, was my second coming into being a performing musician.
Okay.
And that so quickly evolved, once you open the gate, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go start a band. And if this doesn't work out, you just start replacing people and band. Right. Eventually come to the Short Hair Domestics.
There we go. Started off
as a 4-piece. Well, it started off as a 2-piece, me and a guy, just writing songs that were really, really silly.
Okay.
And then we added Mike, and Brett played bass with us for a bit. But eventually the other songwriter in the band, quit the band. And so I took over full songwriting. So then it became more punk rocky. And so that happened probably about 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago.
Well, 10 years
so I've been seriously pursuing being a performing musician to whatever degree that means on a local level for about that long.
Okay. So
there's a straight answer. 8 years, Al. 8 years. I've been doing it for 8 years.
All right. But you're a 3-piece now, right?
We are a 3-piece, yes.
And the other gentleman in the band that can't be here today.
Well, there's my good friend Mike and my good friend Matt. Equally good friend.
Mike and Matt.
Mike is our drummer, Mike Shirtenlieb.
All right.
You can also find him playing all over West Michigan in other projects, other bands. And then Matt Cutie, who also plays in several different projects, but plays bass in Short Hair Domestics. These are my brothers. We've been playing music for a long time together, and we love each other very much.
Brothers, that's the word right there. So Now I got my left side and my right side on the sheet and stuff like this. Okay, you've been doing it in West Michigan for 10 years and stuff like that, and you've been pretty hot at doing it. You seem to be quite busy.
We have our moments. COVID kind of put us in hiatus.
Yeah.
But just as COVID was happening, oddly enough, we were saying, well, we had just put out an album a couple of years earlier. Let's put out another album.
There you go.
So I had gone into songwriting mode. So when COVID happened, it wasn't necessarily the worst thing to happen to songwriting for me. We continued to rehearse as a band. We're firm believers in science, so we shut it down as a band pretty early on. Like as soon as it was mentioned that it might not be a good idea, we shut it down. People can think about that what they want, whatever.
Right.
But we continued to rehearse and write new material. And going into the second album, we probably wrote 20 or more songs.
Did you?
And there's 11, I believe, on the album, maybe 12, 11 or 12 on the album.
Okay.
12.
12.
Album's 22 minutes long. Each song is about 2 minutes. So,
all right.
So we kept 12 of the roughly 20 songs that we wrote. And it was a good experience as far as writing the album. Sorry to get sidetracked, but because just rehearsing as a band, we were able to work out things to such a minute detail for getting the minutia of recording, blah, 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 blah. We tightened the screws more than we had ever tightened them on songwriting.
Nice.
And I think it really pays off in the second album. And so COVID slowed the band down. Your original question, we've been doing it for 10 years and pretty steady. Yes, there have been moments where Short Hair's been playing nonstop. Like it felt like we were playing every single week or sometimes twice a week. But COVID slowed us down. We're coming back now. We're back on the scene.
I see
We've
that.
got a pretty steady schedule. So.
You're even playing tonight, aren't you?
We are playing tonight at Mulligan's with Ladder Match, The Burdens, and Wood School.
All right. Mulligan's out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. They've been around quite a long time, bringing in the bands, local artists.
It used to be the stage at the intersection back in the day. It holds a lot of nostalgia for me personally because of that. I saw so many great bands on that stage. I got kicked in the head at the Jesus Lizard concert at that show on that stage. So
memories.
I used to roadie occasionally, like
go.
an in-house roadie at the intersection way back in the day. Roadied for Clutch. I believe I did a Monster Magnet show.
Nice.
Where I get the pleasure of running around town buying guitar strings and drumsticks for the band.
Yeah.
Maybe picking up McDonald's or coffees.
Right. So I'm going to tell the folks out there in podcast land, Johnny, I want you to let everybody know out there what platforms is your music on, and how can they find out about the band?
You can find us at Bandcamp, Spotify. I'm sure that we're on Pandora, Apple Music. I know that when you release an album, you have to go and sign on to all these things, and all the things that you can sign on to. We're there.
Right.
Primarily, though, if you'd like to communicate with us, and we would love to hear from people, go to our Facebook page. I know
there you go.
We don't have an Instagram at this point because we're just not that sexy. But you can go to our Facebook page, leave us a message, post on our shit.
There you go.
I try and be active there. Like you can always reach me there.
Okay.
If we've ever got a show, it's definitely available there. It's where I do most of the promotion. Again, I don't have time for 52.
Right.
One social media account's enough for me.
I kind of agree. I was hesitant to do several. Now, do you have merch for these people?
We do have stickers. There won't be stickers at the show tonight, and generally we give those away for free, and I apologize. I was in a horrible car accident yesterday, and the merch is in my vehicle in a tow yard somewhere. So.
But okay, so you've been doing this. Let's talk about you've got 2 albums out.
Yeah, we just put out our second album this year, not too long ago. Okay. It's only available online. It's available for free. You can donate if you'd like, but really we just want people to have our music, and so
I like that.
We hope you listen to it.
Yes, definitely check it out. I've been checking it out, and it's great. You're doing the punk rock. Well, they said Americana in there too.
Well, I have my folk influences,
right? And I can hear that
I wouldn't want to get away from.
Right. No.
So
I don't think
It just you are the result of your influences, and that's just where I am. I've learned to accept that as a creator, and I just run with it. So yeah, Americana, punk rock. I'm a little funky here and there,
and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. So the first one was done in what, 2018?
Yes, I believe so.
All right. And you said 12 songs possibly in that?
The first one is 12 songs recorded over the course of maybe 6 hours in a very cold Muskegon basement.
We do what we can do.
The gentleman who let us use his basement for that, and to Addison Eiler from Analog Time Machine, who recorded it, who brought his gear there. We had a friend donate his basement so we could record an album. We went in and did it as quick as we could over a couple hour sessions, like 2 or 3 of them. Banged it out as quick as we could, but it sounds exactly like Addison said, "What do you want the album to sound like?" And I said, "I want it to sound like an album we recorded in a basement." But it sounds good, like a good punk rock album. And I think that's what we got. Now, as far as us being a punk rock band, we're a punk rock band because we're punk rock. But
there you go.
As far as fitting into a genre of music, we're just the Short Hair Domestics, and we play rock and roll.
I like that. Oh, I like that. Now, the second album, you went back in the studio to do that.
Yeah, again with Addison, but this time we went to Addison's studio.
Okay.
We spent a lot more money. Well worth it. Addison is a genius as an engineer, but he's such a good guy that he makes working with him. I hate the recording process. I feel bad for anybody else who's ever had to work with me in the recording process. But Addison just made me feel comfortable doing it.
That's good.
So it didn't feel like as much of a chore as it has in the past.
Nice.
I mean, at both times he was able to do that. And it made the experience really fun. But again, we had tightened the screws on the material in preparation to record. So in the past, I've written songs to play in front of people. And then we learn whether they're good or how they work or where they need to be changed by playing them in front of people and see what that reaction is.
There you go.
With the second album, we did it during COVID. And so 90% of the material never was played in front of other people. Like there's some material that was on there before COVID. But most of the album was written during COVID and never performed in front of people. And it was just about hope. I hope people like it. and we made the cuts to the material as we were writing it ourselves. Like, not that song, but we'll definitely put this song on there. Right. Again, I hope people like it. But what it allowed us to do as a band is to really do what we do. So these are, it always is us, but this is just our opinion of what a Short Hair song should sound like. And so we hope you like it. We worked like beasts to make it happen. Like we really put in the hours and rehearsal and arrangement to make it as good as we possibly could. So when we got to the studio, we fucking banged
it out. That's cool, Johnny. And like I said, people, support the local and national original music.
We have so many incredible artists in this area.
Yes, we do.
It's a pleasure to meet and play with everybody that I get to meet and play with.
I like that. There are a lot of good people, a lot of great musicians.
Absolutely. I'm blown away by the level of talent in the area on a regular basis.
Yeah, I am too. And around the world for that matter. Definitely. Now, we're local together here. Venues, you've been playing out quite a bit in town.
Yeah, I've played most of the venues in town. There's a couple in town that I would really like to play.
Okay.
If anybody from the Pyramid Scheme is listening, not to beg, but I'm begging.
Hello, Pyramid Scheme.
But I'm sure if you've read my emails, you know that I'm begging.
Open up the email, please. Pyramid Scheme. Yeah, get Johnny in there and share the message.
I'm not afraid to beg.
Right.
My goal is to play on the stages that I want to play on, and it's a selfish personal goal. Your Pyramid Scheme is a room that I want to play.
Right. So. Yeah, and I'm kind of looking there around, and you got some fans. You got some good fans following you.
So. If everybody who told me that they loved me came and saw me at every show, I'd have a huge.
I think you do.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I like everybody who comes out to see us. I always enjoy it. I always enjoy talking to the people that show up. So
that's good. So that kind of leads me off to a couple other questions. Now let me go to this one first. You're doing Short Hair Domestics. You just played me a song acoustically.
Mm-hmm.
Are you thinking of do you do any solo stuff on the side?
I will occasionally do an open mic here and there.
Okay, great.
I'm not against doing things by myself, but I'm much more comfortable in the band setting. There's a certain level of confidence that you get from being with other people on the stage.
Yeah,
like we're in this together, and that band thing of being in it together makes it easier for me as an introvert to behave in an extroverted way.
Yeah, like that.
But when I get up on stage by myself, I feel like all the pressure in the world is on me. And
it is. It's your show.
Yeah. And so, I mean, again, I love performing music, but I'd still, even after as long as
really be in a band situation,
get freaked out. I get freaked out. I mean, even with the band, I still get stage fright every time I step on stage.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because I've talked to a lot of artists, and I want to know, coming from behind or beside or whatever, getting on that stage, you say you get a little freaked out being up there. Now, yeah. Is that just for a few minutes until you get going?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
it's really there's this excitement,
exactly.
And then, oh my God, this is really about to happen. But then my experience with it now is that once I'm up there and we count off that first song, or even I look over at the band and I'm like, hey, and I feel assured by having just the other guys there, like we're going to do this. And we've worked hard and we've rehearsed and we know what we're doing, and let's share it with the people and let's do this thing. So
that's great. So you're up on that stage and you make it through the nervousness and the jitters and all that stuff. All right, you're kicking ass. And you look out. Everybody's jamming. They're actually probably singing your songs too. That reflects back on you. How does that make your heart feel?
That's the reason to be there. I mean, for me, again, as a performing artist, the whole thing is that I'm going to share this thing that I did with people.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to react to it, and they're going to share with me the feeling that they get from that.
Yeah.
That energy that we're going to create is going to be a thing that we're going to share together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be the moment. And that's where it's all happening. For me, that's where it all comes from. That's the whole purpose of it. That's why I picked up the guitar. That's why I wrote the song. That's why we rehearsed it as a band, was in this moment that it is happening in the air and it becomes like visceral or whatever.
It's real.
That's our thing. And everybody who's in the room, like, you'll get to walk away with that.
Yeah.
And you'll have other moments like that. But that moment is its own thing. Right. And you hang on to that. That's where the whole value of it, of performing, the whole reason to do it, that's where it comes from for me.
Yeah, I think it kicks butt that being a performer. It's kind of, you get the double pleasure. You get to see their reaction and suck that in, but yet you get to make and songwrite and be a producer of your music. And, it's kind of double pleasure because it makes your heart big too to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you create something that you manage to affect other people with, that's success and fulfillment as a creator right there.
Yeah.
I mean, if I did something, it's like if you're a magician and I pull off the card trick and, you get that moment of amazement out of people. That's why the magician does it.
Right.
Otherwise you could be making widgets and get your paycheck. So, you get something extra by being a magician, I guess.
Right. No, you play punk rock, so it's fast, it's intense, and you're going. We're still on stage here, okay? The night comes to a close. We wrap it up. How long does it take Johnny Stash to unwind?
Oh,
There's the big question.
I would say if we measure it in joints, maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
I don't know. Does Johnny Stash ever unwind? I'm so high strung.
No.
I suffer from insomnia.
Yeah,
I have
got
all
it.
the creator ailments, you know.
The insomnia sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, but when you can't stop your brain from doing what it wants
Creating,
to do. So,
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, I mean, it takes a while to unwind. But then also, sometimes right after I'm done playing, I need to lay down for 20 minutes. So
that's where I'm at this point.
Yeah.
Can you give me my chair, please? My heating pad. That's great.
But I would like to, I mean, just on a personal note, like after a show, I would like to communicate more with people. I'm such an introvert that I like to run and hide.
Okay.
I like to run and hide, and I personally, I'm trying to overcome that.
Okay. Well, we want you to overcome a little bit of that because people, you
I would
need to
love to.
approach
I would love to.
Johnny and talk.
Please
to
come
him.
up and say hi.
Don't be shy.
Help me come out of my bubble.
There we go.
Like, help me discover who I am as a human being
Exactly,
by
people.
forcing me into uncomfortable conversations.
Talk to the musicians, the entertainers. They're not going to bite. They may nibble. I don't know. But
Yeah.
just do
All right,
it.
definitely. I nibble, I don't bite.
There you go. So that's okay. We got shots for that.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this a while with Short Hair Domestics and without them. How many songs you got under your belt, you think?
Oh,
Well, let's give me a roundabout number here.
well, we have a saying in our band
Mm-hmm.
that we've forgotten more songs than your band has written. And I've been writing songs since I was about 12 years old, I think is when I wrote the first song for a girl that I liked.
There we go.
So I've written thousands of songs. But I also, as a songwriter, part of my craft is I feel that you have to write even the bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like pursue every idea until it's no longer worth pursuing. And you don't know how long it needs to be pursued until you put enough effort into it to be like, well, nope, that's not going anywhere. Or no, this is a good song. Great. Boom. But then also, I've written songs in a second that just come out all at once. And I've written songs that come to me over time. The process, maybe some people have a very routine process. My process is very all over the place.
Well, you're an artist.
I like to think so.
You are an artist.
It's kind of pretentious.
So why don't we, I'm going to stop right here and let's show them what an artist can do.
Yeah, I got some more.
Let's do it, Johnny. Johnny's going to give us another song. So Johnny Stash from Short Hair Domestics in the house.
I will say, when I wrote this song, I thought it was going to be received poorly. But people like it. And I think that they get it. And so I'm not going to try and explain it. I'm just going to let the people have it.
Do it.
So. I hate the world. I hate the world. I hate the world. I hate the world. I hate the people. I hate the cars. Hate the pubs. Hate the taverns, and I hate the bars. Hate the conversations that people have. I love my mom, but I hate my dad. I hate the world. I hate the birds. I hate the squirrels. I hate his flat top. I hate her curls. Don't like chocolate, can't stand vanilla, and I hate swirl. I don't like boys, but I hate girls. I hate the world. I hate the world. I
Johnny Stash, and that's "I Hate the World" because I've been listening to that song.
Hey,
Yes,
that's on the new album.
Yeah, that's on the list right there. It's on the list, people, and he played it. That's an amazing guy. That's amazing. See, that's an artist right there, and a lot of songs under your belt. Now, I got a couple general questions I want to ask you. All right. Which one do I go to? All right. It's just you out there, and maybe it's the band, but is there anybody in this world that maybe, I don't know if they're famous or not, you'd like to share the stage with?
Oh my God.
Who would it be? Who would it be? I'll give you two.
At the top of my head right now, Joan Jett.
Joan Jett.
I fucking love Joan Jett.
Nice.
And I would love to open for Joan Jett.
That would be really cool.
I'm high, sorry, I'm getting all excited and emotional just thinking about it. Who else? Shellac.
Huh?
Shellac is probably my go-to favorite band.
Nice.
The amount of pleasure I find in listening to Shellac music
That'd be great.
Immeasurable.
Now, let me ask this question and expect to. So, say that opportunity happened. You willing to go on a tour?
Would I go on a tour? Yeah. I mean, I would give up my day job and to play music. I'm loosely attached to the Mortal Coil as it is. And
right. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Now, another question on that one right there. Okay, you go on tour, somebody approaches you and says, Johnny Stash, I got a label I'd like you to look at and sign. Would you take a label, or do you want to stay indie, or don't you know?
Honestly, it would depend on the contract. And I don't mean to get bogged down in the business minutia of it.
Right.
Because I love to play music, and if it would afford me and my bandmates to live whatever lifestyle it is that we choose we want to live, and my bandmates were willing to do it as well, yeah, I would sign a contract and go to a label.
I agree.
You know,
as long as you can keep your music.
Yeah, it's as long as I get to, what are the terms of the contract? Am I going to be like, hey, you're going to go do this now instead of being yourself? No. What I'm going for right now as a human being is to be as authentic as a person as I can be and make other people feel like it's okay to be themselves in my presence. So,
and people can see that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think that if you're a good person and you're being true to yourself, people can see that, and that gives them license to do that themselves. And that makes the world a better world.
It does. Another question real quick here. All right, we figured out who you want to play with. Around the world again, any stage that you want to play on?
All of them?
All of them. I like that. Nobody's just said all of them. I like that. But two particular stages, small or large, which ones would you like to set one foot on?
I've never really thought about it like that because I've always just had my goals on like the next local stage that I want to play on.
We want to get out of
here. But anywhere in Tokyo, I think would be pretty amazing. I've always been pretty interested in that city in particular. Also, probably like the Hollywood Bowl, something that has that type of notoriety to it. Like, yeah, I played the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden. You know,
I was just going to say
one of those big poster names where you look at it like, holy shit, really?
Really? What's going on here? Sweet. Now, with you and Short Hair Domestics and yourself, are you trying to collaborate with any of the local artists, anything?
We don't really collaborate musically with other artists, but we do like to make friends with other bands.
Cool.
I love Fairwind. It's a local act out of Muskegon.
All right.
Love those guys. Like, love a Fairwind show.
Good deal.
The Burdens, who we love, and they're from Muskegon. They're a bit younger than we are. We refer to them as our little sister band.
Right.
And those guys are great. If you get a chance to catch the Burdens like you could tonight at Mulligan's
there you go.
Shire Domestics, catch the Burdens. They're intense.
Well, I'm glad you said, support them.
Yeah, all local bands, like everybody in the area should go out and see everybody all the time.
I agree with you.
We have a thriving music scene.
Yes, we do.
And there are tons of good bands. Every Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Grand Rapids, you can catch good bands in multiple venues.
Yeah, seriously.
What I like to do when I come into town, during the summertime when I get out of the woods, is hit 2 or 3 of the venues if possible. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Like I'd love to see and stay for everybody's show, but if I can catch a band at Mulligan's and then fly over and catch a band at Tip Top and then wrap out the night catching a band at Turnstiles, and that's a nice little
triangle. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
and that is a good night. That is,
that's good, and it's nice we have that scene here for the local artists.
It is great.
So it definitely support your local musicians and your nationals out there, and support them. Just listen, people. I don't care what genre. Just listen to everybody. All right, it's great stuff. So you played the one song and 2 songs actually, and I like Hate the World, but I want to talk about another song.
Yeah,
which I love is Tomorrow's on
its way.
Yeah, it sounded like a little Chuck Berry going on.
Well, I love rock and roll.
Yeah, I was hearing that.
I was born and raised on it. It definitely has those types of elements, that old rock and roll style to it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we just wanted to write a banger. Lyrically, I think the song says a lot to me personally when I hear it. I don't know what it means to other people when they hear it, but if you listen to the chorus, it's like, let people talk shit. Let people talk shit. Sun's coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow's on its fucking way. We'll see what happens tomorrow when the chips are on the table.
There you go.
We'll see what's going on. So,
right.
That's what it means.
Now, 2 more questions before we wrap it up with stuff. You mentioned one before we started the podcast, and that is with your music. And I'm just 2 words. You want to touch people, and not in a weird way, but you want to go for the heart.
Yeah. As a songwriter, what I try and do is convey an emotion, a feeling that I have in its rawest form, and then touch people with that so that they know that they're human, I'm human, you're not alone in the world.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. We share that moment together.
All human.
Yeah. It makes everybody's day a little better. And if you share your sadness, you share your happiness, we share it together. It decreases the burden. It amplifies the good things about it.
We all have our trials and tribulations. It's nice to be able to share that. No, somebody else probably went through it too, not just me and stuff like that. Okay, future for Short Hair Domestics and Johnny Stash.
Well, we have the show come up tonight. We'll be back in Grand Rapids on the 23rd over at Tip Top for our final show of the year. Come out.
Oh, it's
get
already
2 more
over.
chances this year to see Short Domestics, and then it'll be 2024.
Right on around the corner.
We're going to keep making music.
Nice.
We have so many more songs that haven't been recorded yet that need to be recorded. And also, I can't stop writing songs.
So we definitely have a 3rd album in the way and a 4th down the line.
There's a 3rd and 4th album written. It's just a matter of getting them recorded. So,
it's beautiful. Johnny, I appreciate you coming to the home.
Thank you for having me.
Coming on the podcast, brother. This is great. The music's great. Everybody on podcast land, check out Johnny Stash. Short Hair Domestics. Go on the platforms and punch in Short Hair Domestics.
Come say hi.
Yeah, and then go say hi when they're playing out live. Check out their sites, Facebook, everything. Support,
Spotify, Pandora.
It's great.
Bandcamp. That's my favorite.
One question I was going to ask earlier, and we'll make this quick, but what do you think about now and back then, where back then we put up posters and handed out CDs or cassettes, to now it's digital and you got platforms. You're not out there.
I would say this, as a creator, you can touch a lot more people now. You just have to know that there's differences in how you communicate with people.
Right.
The way to survive is to adapt.
Yeah.
You have to be open to change.
Yes,
so you have to be an open-minded person. And just understand that part of your responsibility as a creator is now you have to create content.
That's right, content.
Do the thing. I want people to come see me live. That's where I really want to share things with people. I want to sing things to people's faces.
There you go.
But if an online content helps people discover my band so that they will come out and see me, then that's what you have to do. You used to drive around and staple flyers to telephone poles. It's a lot easier to sit home and just post it over and over again. But you have to be willing to put in that work to create that content.
And it is work too. It takes some time. Yeah. It's definitely something you got to stay on top of.
Right. I mean, I'm a songwriter. sitting down with a video camera and creating content is not my favorite thing in the world to do. I forced myself to do it more recently, and it's just something you got to do.
Continue writing songs, Johnny. Your music kicks ass. I love it, brother. Let's push it. We're going to push it around the world through this podcast right here, people. So everybody out there, I appreciate it, big.
So either come to Michigan and see me, or make me popular enough where you're at that they'll ask me to come there.
I like that. So you want Johnny? Send the private jet over. He'll be right there.
I'll fly coach. It doesn't have to be a private jet.
Coach, probably. Okay. and it's beautiful that you're here. I appreciate promoting everybody, especially yourself. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. All right. And I'm going to keep my eye on you. I want you back on the show. Maybe 6 months to a year or so.
Sounds good.
All right, brother. Yeah. So thank you, everybody out there, podcast land. If you want to get a hold of me, go to the No Cover TV Facebook page or my personal page, Al Brady, or go to No Cover TV1 on Instagram, or you can go to Jeepers616. There's a lot more followers there. It don't matter. You can find me, or I'm going to find you. Either way, I know how to find you. That's right, Johnny. So it's all about your music, your story. I don't want to get your story out there because you can get off your butts and look up the music. All right, people. But I do the music shows. So stay tuned and I will play some songs from Johnny and stuff. So everybody out there, thank you. Thank you. Johnny, any last words?
We'll see you at the next show.
See you at the next show. I like this. We're out of here. And we'll see you at the next show, the No Cover TV show too. See you, people. Peace.